One biggest challenge which organizations face is that most data science projects end up solving the wrong problem. This might sound fascinating because organizations invest millions of dollars. And why would they be solving the wrong problem? Look at this example. There was an executive who has gone to a technology conference. They hear about AI and its exploits and image recognition, understanding videos, writing articles. They get pretty pumped up and they come back to their organization. They call the technology leaders and say that, so I have heard about AI. It's revolutionizing the industry. We want to be ahead of the game. So here's a budget for you. Go and implement AI for us. And they go ahead and hire PhD data scientists and they buy certain tools. And then this team is running around the organization looking for a problem to solve using AI. When all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So you end up picking an AI project, you implement it, but it may not be strategic enough. It may not actually solve a pressing business need, which has to be addressed right now. So that's a challenge, not just when the project is started, even midway through the project. In every phase, this challenge persists. So the learning for you, and the first tip is that you have to master the application of knowledge and the concepts. You would have learned the concepts, but application of the concepts is an entirely different thing. And this is a common challenge we see in the industry. Let me give you another example. So let's say someone has learned business forecasting, the forecasting algorithms, and they've learned a variety of techniques. And now when a business person comes to them and gives them this problem that I want to forecast my sales numbers for next week or next month, and here's your data, how do you go about applying it? Scenario one, they give you just 1 week's data and ask you to forecast for the next 3 weeks. And I kid you not, this has happened to us. There was a prospect who approached and gave us one data point and said, we want the next 3 months forecast. And they said, use AI or whatever technique, and can you give us the forecast? So we took a long time to explain why it's not possible. So if all you have is a single data point, heuristics and business judgment can beat any analytics technique out there. If you have past 3 weeks of data, say 3 data points or a little more than that, simpler techniques can do moving averages, extrapolations, that is relevant. And when you have more volumes of data, then there's another consideration. What is the pattern within the data? Is it even possible to come up with a forecast? Because not every data can be predicted. So there maybe you have to look at statistics and simpler techniques. Whereas when you have 2 years of data with a lot of useful signals and patterns and seasonality and all of that, then maybe that's relevant to unleash the fury of AI on this data. And so this is the kind of question and answer you have to ask based on the data you have, based on the other questions you can ask about the context. So if you have to learn the skill well, what do you do? Here are some guidelines for application skills. So first ask, what's the business problem you're solving? Talk to the users and really make sure you understand it in non-data terms. Find out who is your audience. What are their preferences? What do they really need? And understand the user study and user-centric design is very important. And then you come to the data. So the first 2 questions, you don't even get into the data aspects. You have to talk about business, users. That's the starting point always. Whether you're starting a project, you're choosing a model, or you're building a visual, or you're just launching a product. So all of these, you'll have to start with the business users and the business problems. The next, you look at the data and what approaches are relevant, like in the example we just saw. Which insights are important and are they actionable? A lot of people come up with very interesting insights, which the data scientists get excited about, but they are not actionable. So assuming a business is in a certain line, and if the recommendation is to completely change the line of business, that's not going to be useful or actionable. So find out the actionability and take feedback along the way from your users and iterate. And repeatedly check for consumption, repeatedly check whether it's giving the business ROI, and go over this entire process multiple times over and over again. So this is a guideline for applying any skill that you've learned. And this is important because AI is coming for the data science jobs as well. So we are creating AI, and AI is going to take away most of the jobs within this industry as well. There's a lot of grunt work and stuff within the data science workflow which will become irrelevant soon. but application of the knowledge in a business context is something which will stay relevant for much, much longer. So that's one way to safeguard the job and make sure you stay relevant in the industry.